host province. So we brought on board different member groups, including youth groups, community groups, special squad, bishops, churches, clerics, with one mission, that is to ensure that our community is safe and free from drugs. That's how we came up with Coast Community Anti-Drug Coalition. With that, we need to thank these guys here, especially Carlton Hall and Gilges, for bringing on board one who came up with this idea of forming the coalition. That's Carlton Hall. He is not new here. Maybe for a few of us, he might be new. But for the rest of Coast Community Anti-Drug Coalition, he is our father, he is our mother too. Because he's the one who came up with this idea of having this coalition. Yes, our mother, the fact that he's the one who is trying to lead us into being one of the best community coalitions in the world. So with him on board, we are much privileged. This is the third time he's coming back to Kenya and seeing the group that he always likes calling it a magnificent group. I'm sure he has seen so many changes in terms of membership as a result of developing issues and activities that are not in line with our issues. On the other hand, as much as we try our best, the coalition so far has moved to a step forward of being registered as a community-based organization, and we have on board around 13 organizations. So the coalition has around 4 to 5. Most of these groups fall in. The second one is the treatment aspect, whereby we have member partners, including Mayor, and reach out who been told they are on their way. On the other hand, we have media personnel on board, we have special branch, and I think that's all, 4 to 5.
Special squad.
Special squad,
Not branch.
So I'd like to welcome you all. Before we even start, we'll take a few minutes to bring up in front the groups that had always been forefront in the coalition, the leaders, to come and tell us what they have been doing for the period of last year until this year. So in this order, I think we'll start with Pamau from Malindi, who is our chair. Let me first introduce a few guys. I'm not actually introducing them, but I'm just pulling them up to speak a little bit. I'd like to bring on board Gilges. Thanks.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Habari zenu Madina mabwana. Ninaitwa Keith, mimi ni Consul wa ubalozi wa Marekani na ninaweza kusema Kiswahili kidogo. Kwa mimi Kiingereza ni much easier.
Yeah.
Can I speak in English? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you all for coming here. Thanks to the board for organizing this. As I said, my name is Keith Gilges, and I'm the consul for the U.S. government here in Mombasa. So I'm the ambassador's representative for Coast Province. So the question is, okay, great, you're the consul here. You know, where's your consulate? Well, in fact, we don't have an office here at this time. We'll be getting one sometime in the near future. But it was actually thanks to the independence of South Sudan that we had to take the money that was going to be used for building a consulate here, and we actually used it to build the embassy in Juba. So now we've got to go back to the drawing board and ask for more money, but it's coming at some point in the future. But my job is about relationships and building those relationships with the community. And at the end of the day, that's about people, it's not about bricks and mortar. It's not just about having a building, it's about creating a sense of community and a sense of involvement. So the reason that I'm here, the reason that I'm engaged, is to understand what's going on in Coast Province. Now we have the largest embassy, the largest U.S. embassy in all of Sub-Saharan Africa in Kenya, and that's in Nairobi. So we've got lots of people sitting up there. But they work in Nairobi, they live in Nairobi, they have friends in Nairobi, they get stuck in Nairobi traffic, they shop in Nairobi. And so when Washington says, hey, we heard something in the press, what's happening in Kenya? What we're really answering so much of the time is what's happening in Nairobi. And while Nairobi is clearly important, nobody knows better than you all do, Nairobi is not all of Kenya. And what happens in Mombasa, what happens in Coast Province is important and relevant and may be different. And the perspectives that people on the coast have may be different from the perspectives that they have in Central or in Nyanza or particularly in Nairobi. So my function is to build those relationships, create those friendships, and I do see a lot of friends out here, a lot of acquaintances, some new faces, so that I can make sure that when we're trying to explain what's happening in Kenya to Washington, it's not just Nairobi. It's also what's happening in Mombasa. And so I spend about half my time down here. When I first arrived a little over 2 years ago,